Oh, Mamrie. I can't wait for us to get to America and start making science videos together. And I know that I'm just a humble YouTuber, but I promise I'm gonna find enough brand deals to support us.
I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it kind of belongs to someone else, but I don't think he's gonna mind.
I mean, that is huge. It's almost as big as a...
Iceberg.
Nah, I don't know if it's that
No,
big, but...
Iceberg!
Oh, no. Look out! Okay. I'm Jake, and before I was on the deck of a now-sinking ship, I had two loves in my life, science and movies. So I decided to put myself in the classic film Titanic because it isn't so much the sinking that we have to worry about, but rather what we're sinking into, water. So I want to explore that, specifically buoyancy and how it works and also how it doesn't, and find out if you could survive jumping into the ocean from a ship of this height, and the effects of hypothermia in extremely cold water. I can't feel my hands anymore. Could you survive Titanic? Well, we know that people did because of lifeboats and rescue teams and also history, and we also know that people died really terribly. But that's neither here nor there. Could you survive the movie Titanic? What a crazy 30 hours it's been. I met the love of my life, a young upper crust woman who somehow fell for me, a simple YouTuber, and I taught her science and she taught me how to love. But all of that will be for nothing if we can't find a way to survive this sinking ship, which, if history repeats itself, should be underwater in about, 2 hours and 35 minutes.
Hold on, I specifically booked a ticket on this ship because they said it was unsinkable. How's this happening?
Well, it's because of buoyancy, or in our case, the lack of it. Allow me to explain.
Okay.
We know that water is made up of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. But what does that have to do with holding up a massive 52,000-ton ship? Well, the polar bond between hydrogen and oxygen atoms is what's responsible for water's density. That is, how closely packed together the molecules are. And that density is what leads to buoyancy. To understand why this massive ship floats, at least for a little while longer, we need to understand how buoyancy works. Please, after you. Buoyancy is the upward force exerted by water on an object. In short, an object will float if it weighs less than the water that it pushes out of the way or displaces. If it doesn't, it sinks. Like this steel block. So the key to making an ocean liner float is to make sure that the weight of the displaced water is greater than the ship. This model ship contains the exact same amount of steel as the block that we just saw. But the difference is that the ship is shaped in such a way that a lot of its volume is taken up by air, and with the steel spread out, providing a larger surface area, it can displace even more water. And the runoff water we're collecting weighs as much, if not more, than the ship. Cool. But what about our current situation? Well, the Titanic was said to be unsinkable because it had 16 separate watertight compartments full of air. And it was built so that even if leaks in as many as 4 of those compartments caused them to fill with water, the ship would still weigh less than the water it displaced, and it would stay afloat, which is great news. Unfortunately, the iceberg we just encountered tore through 6. So... according to history, we now have about 2 hours until this steel beast weighs more than the water it's displacing. So, Mamrie, if we don't do something quick...
Lifeboats!
Oh, no, whoa.
Everyone, please! Women and children first!
I mean, if you want, we can just...
No, Jake, I would never go without you.
I don't love you.
Well, you could always try your luck and jump off the ship into the ocean.
Well, that seems dangerous.
But is it? I mean, could you survive a jump from this height into the water, or would you shatter whatever bones made contact first? Mamrie, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Again. Hoo-yah!
always fall for the bad boys.
People survive high-velocity encounters with water all the time. However, not everyone is so lucky. But why? Well, it has to do with the way the body enters the water and the speed at which the body enters the water. Both of those things are directly related to density. See, the atomic structure of water molecules causes them to be attracted to nearby water molecules, forming hydrogen bonds. So the resistance that you feel when you hit water comes from the fact that the hydrogen bonds have to break apart, and then you push the water molecules apart from each other and out of your way. You know, let me show you. When jumping into water from a great height, you want to go either hands first, or in my case, feet first. Because your body is hitting with the least amount of surface area, reducing resistance and mitigating the amount of force needed to break those hydrogen bonds, that surface tension, allowing the rest of your body to enter with little resistance. But how does speed factor in? Well, despite common misconception, jumping into water from really high is not like jumping onto concrete. It's deceleration that hurts you in a fall. Concrete is significantly more dense than water, and its molecular bonds do not break easily, so you decelerate much more quickly, which is bad. On the other hand, the hydrogen bonds of water are always breaking and reforming, which means pushing them apart when you dive in isn't too tough. Now, while jumping from 10 meters feet first still hurts a bit on impact, it won't be fatal, assuming proper form. But if you spread it across your body with, say, a belly flop, ow. That was from only 1 meter high, and it still really hurt. If you did that from 10 meters, you'd be severely injured. Oh, and there's one more thing we have to consider. As water gets colder at around 4 degrees Celsius, the molecules become a lot more stable, meaning they become harder to break and more dangerous for a high jump. And that's what is happening to the water surrounding our sinking ship. So...
I'm coming with you, Jake! We will always be together!
You know, those hydrogen bonds would not be forgiving to our bodies. Oh, we might survive the fall. It is real cold in that water. So probably should have another plan. Only about an hour and a half left till she sinks.
Mamrie? Mamrie! Mamrie!
Oh, no. Okay, you know how I told you that the necklace isn't technically mine?
Yeah.
Well, that's my fiancé. Well, my ex-fiancé, but he does not look happy.
Who? Oh, you mean Austin Evans? Hey, buddy.
What are you doing?
That's my fiance! And my necklace?
Ooh, he's got a gun. We should. Yep. You know, the movie taught me that we need to run to the stern and ride this puppy down just like an elevator.
Okay.
And actually, that worked. The Titanic's chief baker did just that. Rode it down, stepped off into the water, and survived. He said that he didn't even get his hair wet.
Hey, you! Give me back my fiance and necklace!
Mamrie, I'm coming!
Jake! Oh, this is where I drew you like one of your French girls.
Draw me like one of my French girls. Okay, we don't have time for a flashback, all right? Water doesn't care about narrative or love. Water's just gonna fill this thing until the weight of the ship exceeds the weight of the water it's displacing. Oh, and also, your dude's chasing us with a gun.
That is a good point.
Okay, let's just keep going. I think we lost your fiance.
Over here! Help!
Oh no, Mamrie, we gotta help her.
Okay.
It's been 2 hours since the ship hit the icebergs, so by now the 6 compartments that were compromised are 70% full of water, which means we're losing buoyant force fast.
Please, hurry. It's getting cold.
Yeah, hold on.
Woo! That third-class woman is right. The water is ridiculously cold. Why is that?
Good question. The air temperature is probably pretty close to the water temperature by now. So why do our feet feel in the water so much colder than the rest of our bodies? What is it about cold water that is so much harder to survive than cold air? If you've ever been in a sauna, the 90 degrees Celsius air feels hot, but bearable. Some might even say enjoyable. Now, stick your hand in 90 degrees Celsius water and you're headed to the hospital. Why? Well, it's related to conductivity. That is the passing of energy from one medium to another. When objects of differing temperatures come in contact, they will eventually reach thermal equilibrium through conductivity. And since water is denser than air, that equilibrium happens much more quickly. Because when you're in contact with water, there are a lot more molecules close to you that can transfer heat. This leads to hypothermia if your core temperature reaches 35 degrees Celsius, which is not great if you're stuck in the ocean after surviving a sinking boat. So to show how and why this works, I'm going to submerge myself in this pool, which is at 4 degrees centigrade. That's about 6 degrees warmer than the waters the Titanic went down in, and this is due to my safety, but the process of heat transfer should be exactly the same. But what are we expecting to see?
There it is.
Well, earlier today I swallowed a sensor that will allow us to monitor my core temperature. I'll also continuously check my cognitive ability.
Name an object that is green.
Sloths. They can be green because they grow algae. It's the only mammal to do so. And motor skills, as severe heat loss has a detrimental effect on both. All this to say, do not try this at home, do not try this at work, do not try this. Okay, let's make me hypothermic. All right, jump on in, eh? Oh, sweet Beethoven's Ghost. That is cold. Using a thermal camera, we can see the extreme differences in temperature, with the near freezing water represented in darker color values. Of course, your body doesn't give up without a fight, and as the heat transfers from your body to the water, your body burns excess fat to try and keep itself at the right temperature and avoid freezing to death, which is good. Ooh, there's the shivers. At 4 minutes, I had the first test of motor skills and cognitive ability. Come on. Come on. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna beat my record. Hey, oh, yeah, thank you. How many seconds? 28. 28, that's not too bad.
Now, what were you doing at 10 a.m. this morning?
Oh, I was filming here, not in the pool, so.
Where were you on Thanksgiving?
I was in Los Angeles, eating.
Grab the thermometer, tell me what the water temperature is. Your finger in the black. 2 degrees Celsius.
Oh, I was told it would be 4 degrees. And then something really strange happened. I disassociated from my body and no longer felt present or in control. I can't feel my hands anymore. They just feel like cold objects, but don't seem to have a visual shape in my head if I'm not looking at them. I can't feel my toes either. I have legs. I forgot about them. I have legs. Oh, but I can't really feel them. I even thought I would be warmer if I took off all my clothes. That's known as paradoxical undressing, a major and common mistake experienced by those going through hypothermia. At this point, the chair was the only thing keeping me from drowning.
20 minutes. Can you try and tread water with your arms? Would you be able to do that?
It's really, like, I would be sunk. I'd be at the bottom of the ocean, and it would be great, because it'd be better than this. I can't even grab the thing. Oh my goodness. Lucas, no! Oh yeah! Oh, that was one of them. That feels great. Where am I going? I'm floating away. I think it's because I'm putting all my effort into this. I forgot to try and put my legs down. Ah, 3, yeah. Oh, what did it say, Dave?
That's it. His core temperature is no longer safe. Pull him out.
Come on, Jake, let's roll, brother. All right, Towels, come on.
The thermal camera shows that my exterior reached thermal equilibrium with the water, But thankfully, I got out before my core temp dropped to 35 degrees Celsius. So I avoided becoming fully hypothermic. Barely. Silver lining, I was fed Mexican food while cocooned in a sleeping bag waiting for my body temperature to rise. So that was nice. Oh, that was horrible. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. You saved that woman?
Jake, the ship is sinking, and you were gone for 25 minutes.
Oh no.
Come on, we gotta go. Okay, we made it to the stern. Now, where do we go to write it down?
Whoa, relax.
What?
Oh, well, we got, about 10 minutes until the ship breaks in half, and then the stern will sink.
What?
Oh, wait, did I not mention the whole ship breaking in half part?
No. But if we do have 10 minutes, then maybe I could get my flashback, comprised entirely of famous scenes from this movie.
For you, anything.
I just love a good love story. I will give you both my blessing. Hopefully you live a long and happy life together that doesn't get abruptly cut short when one of you, most likely Jake, drowns and falls to the bottom of the ocean. Well, bye.
That was, like, really specific.
My baby!
Did he just steal your baby? When we ride the ship down.
Jake, tell me we're gonna be okay.
I wish I could, but that's for the water to decide. Hey, you think there's enough room for both of us on the door?
I'm sorry, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well. So my only hope in escaping death is to rely on the buoyant force keeping that door afloat. And while there's been a lot of debate whether there was space in the door for 2 people, and there is, what's more important is whether we could stay afloat on the door. The doors in the Titanic were very heavy. So if I climbed on it with Mamrie, we and the door would sink to the bottom of the ocean. So, taking turns is probably out of the question.
I wish I could, but...
Promise, never let go.
Hey! There's somebody here on this door!
And as always,
one person! Ripe for saving!
this season on Cystm. Come get some! Let's make me hypothermic. Tear this body apart.
Oh, the need for speed! I don't think you're gonna survive this one.